Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of NEWS2. I'm Sandra Romancing, topping our newscast. For 2 days in a row on St. Thomas, members of the community flocked to the Charles Turnbull Library to hear about pesticide use in the Virgin Islands. Local and federal government agencies teamed up to provide the conference, which unfortunately stemmed directly from a pesticide-related tragedy in the territory. NEWS2's April Knight has that story.
The Charles Turnbull Library was packed Wednesday during a major conference on what has recently become a volatile topic, the use of pesticides in the Virgin Islands. The Pesticide Conference was a direct result of the tragic poisoning of a family vacationing on St. John, when a local Terminix applicator used the banned chemical methyl bromide in an adjacent unit.
The point of this conference today is to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. Not only in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but anywhere in the country.
The workshop, spearheaded by both the Department of Planning and Natural Resources and the Environmental Protection Agency, urged the use of pesticides containing less toxic substances. According to DPNR Commissioner Don Henry, there is a need for stronger enforcement of regulations when it comes to licensing pesticide applicators. It would involve multiple approvals and a thorough record of when restricted pesticides are used.
Through the Pesticide Act of 2006, we're required to have regulations that further manage the pesticide program within a territory. And we have a draft for those regulations that we are planning on introducing to the community through our public hearing requirements.
One major problem for pesticide applicators is the lack of certification, and they claim that the failure lies with the government, particularly late notice when it comes to classes needed to be certified. According to DPNR, to the best of their knowledge, they've managed to work with VICES, the entity contracted to give those classes, so that situation is rectified. Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
In other news, here's an update on the auctioning of Hovenza storage facilities on St. Croix. According to the proceedings so far, Lime Tree Bay Holdings, under the company ArcLight, is emerging as the preferred buyer of the Virgin Islands government. ArcLight is the stalking horse, or the initial bidder, that other bidders would have to beat in order to even enter the auction. The other bidder is Buckeye Partners, which had to bid more than $190 million up front. The judge handling the case will have the final say on the matter. Count on two, we will keep you updated. Senator Kenneth Gittens, chairman of the Senate's Rules and Judiciary Committee, has written to the chairman of the Government Employees Retirement Board requesting correspondence supporting the board's decision back in August 2015 to suspend or discontinue the system's loan program to its members. The senator pleaded with the GRS board to reconsider its decision. Here's more.
While their concerns could be legitimate, I see the abrupt suspension and permanent discontinuation of the program to be drastic and unfair. It is no secret that the economic state of our territory is weak. This accessibility to funds for active government employees and retirees is of paramount importance to sustain a constant cash flow to the territory.
On Wednesday, a bill to reestablish the Virgin Islands Office of the Inspector General as a semi-autonomous government agency passed the Senate Government Services Committee. Senator Clifford Graham, who co-sponsored the bill along with Senators Narida O'Reilly and Samuel Sanez, said the Inspector General needs to have full authority to be able to do its job. Inspector General Stephen Van Beverhout fully supports the bill and asked the committee to support it as well, saying it's a big step toward government accountability. Police are investigating a burglary at Yacht Haven Grand that occurred on Tuesday at 10:55 a.m. Officers responded to the call that occurred at the Gucci store and spoke with the store's manager. She stated that upon closing the store on the evening of Monday, November 16th, all the doors were locked and the alarm system activated. She then received a phone call at roughly 2:30 a.m. from ADT informing her that the store's alarm had been activated. At the store, she realized that several showcases were destroyed and various pieces of jewelry and accessories were missing. It was also noted that the suspect had gained entry into the store through the southern glass door. On Friday, November 13 at 8:30 a.m., Michael McChrystal, 24, of Lindbergh Bay, was arrested and charged with driving under the influence, negligent driving, possession of an unlicensed firearm, and illegal discharge of a firearm. According to the police report, McChrystal was arrested after his involvement in a vehicular accident on Veterans Drive. Police say he was unable to perform a field sobriety test. Once a search of his vehicle was conducted, officers discovered a loaded .40 caliber pistol and ammunition in his possession. Bail for Michael McChrystal was set at $50,000. Curtis Winston Venner, 34, of St. Croix, was arrested Wednesday on a criminal complaint charging him with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, unauthorized possession of a firearm, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. According to the complaint, Venner was the driver and sole occupant of a vehicle that was stopped on Rattan Road on July 12, 2015. Inside the vehicle, next to Venner on the floor of the front passenger seat, law enforcement found a bag containing a Cabre .380 caliber handgun and a magazine containing 17 bullets. Venner faces a maximum sentence of 10 years imprisonment and $250,000 fine for each count. It is time for our VI Recycle segment. Governor Kenneth Mapp has recently proclaimed November as VI Recycles Month, and throughout November, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority has highlighted efforts around the community centered on responsible ways of disposing waste. One of those ways is composting, and this upcoming Ag Fair, you'll get a chance to learn all about it. NEWS2's April Knight has more.
The 2015 Ag Fair on St. Thomas is only a couple of days away, and in addition to the flora and fauna that patrons flock to the event for, there's also this.
But when we speak of composting, we're speaking of when we as individuals, humans, engage in the process, understanding the science and the art that causes decomposition. We now can manage it better, make it more efficient, and make the system of decomposition of organic materials work better for us.
The composting workshop is a collaboration between the VI Waste Management Authority and UVI's Cooperative Extension Services. It's part of Waste Management's observance of VI Recycles Month, which was proclaimed by Governor Mapp on November 10th. Behind their offices at UVI, CES has a few compost pits running, and according to Peterson, it's not that hard nor time-consuming to start one in your own backyard. A lot of the work, according to Peterson, is done by microorganisms working the compost pit and helping to decompose the waste.
Sometimes we're speaking of certain worms. Even roaches are part of the process. So all we are doing is creating an environment that's comfortable for those organisms to continue and do what they naturally do. So it is really a case of managing the process, realizing the kind of moisture that we need in the system, the kind of temperature we're trying to achieve, and the process takes place on its own.
CES advocates composting as one of the ways to lessen the garbage being dumped by households in bin sites and eventually falling under Waste Management's care. Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
Meanwhile, we'll have more on the 2015 Ag Fair in Friday's newscast. That composting workshop will occur on both days, Saturday and Sunday. We'll turn our attention overseas. A new ISIS video released Wednesday threatens an impending attack on New York City. The NYPD says it's aware of the video and it's deploying additional members of its new anti-terrorism squad out of an abundance of caution. But at the same time, Andrew Spencer reports officials are downplaying the significance of the ISIS propaganda video. Here's more.
The people of New York City will not be intimidated.
New York officials responded to an ISIS video specifically threatening New York. It featured video from Times Square and what appears to be a bomb being tucked beneath the jacket of a bomber. Officials aren't ignoring the video, but they're being careful about how seriously they take it.
Being quite frank with you, there is nothing new about that video. New York obviously remains one of the top terrorist targets in the world.
They dusted off a video that we saw a few months ago, I think back in April, and gave it a new beginning and a new end. So this is ISIS doing what ISIS and Al-Qaeda and terrorist groups do, which is propaganda.
In the aftermath of the attacks in Paris, U.S. cities have stepped up security, both seen and unseen, as a precaution. Among those cities, New York and Washington, D.C., which was also threatened in a video earlier this week. Officials stress there are no credible and specific threats.
It is the goal of terrorists to intimidate and disrupt our democratic society. We will not submit to their wishes.
They seek to create fear. They seek to intimidate. We will not be intimidated, and we will not live in fear.
I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. Coming up there, we have the Dow down at 4, NASDAQ down at 1, S&P also down at 234. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead. Tune in. We'll be right back. Welcome back. In other DPNR news, Commissioner Don Henry of the Department of Planning and Natural Resources is pleased to announce that VITRAN has extended its bus service. The fixed bus route was implemented on Tuesday, November 10th, which now extends the current route at the Tutu Park Mall to include service to the Charles Turnbull Regional Library during its hours of operation. Generally, the rural route bus will arrive to the Tutu Park Mall 9:15 a.m., 11:15 a.m., 1:15 p.m., and 3:15 p.m. The public is asked to remain patient as the traffic into the country dictates the actual arrival of the bus to the Tutu Mall area. Well, schools were dismissed early today, Thursday, as the Virgin Islands Department of Education's Office of the Insular Superintendent, St. Thomas St. John District, notified parents of the early dismissal of all public schools, and that was early this week, in order to accommodate some monthly job-embedded professional development for teachers. Schools will be back in session tomorrow. The Virgin Islands Department of Education, meanwhile, announced Monique Marie Mota of John H. Woodson Junior High School in St. Croix as the 2016 State Teacher of the Year. Mota, a 27-year employee of the Virgin Islands Department of Education, is a special education teacher and the Modified Instruction Department chairperson. In 1979, graduate of St. Croix Central High School, Mota received a BA degree in social work from Morgan State University. Her career was advanced in the Department of Education Special Services Division when she sought specialized educational services for her daughter. Ms. Mota instructs students who are severely cognitively delayed and would often ensure that her students are included in campus school events. Congrats to her. Well, please, pardon, and thank you. How important are manners and good etiquette? Well, the founder of the Virgin Islands Etiquette and Leadership Institute, Lisa Wynn, says good manners helps children build confidence, increase self-esteem, improve communication skills, make friends, and create a positive impression on others. On Saturday, 10 graduates, boys and girls, ages 6 to 16, showcased their best selves during a ceremony held at the Blue Orchid. They received their certificate of completion and honors for successfully going through the class. The students learned everything from social and dining skills to posture and presentation. You can call 340-643-3149 for details on upcoming classes. Today, many recognize the traditional Great American Smokeout, and hopefully the recognition was enough for many smokers to kick the habit. The American Cancer Society marked the Great American Smokeout to encourage smokers to use the date to make a plan to quit or to plan in advance and quit smoking that day. Tobacco use remains the single largest preventable cause of disease and premature death in the U.S., yet about 43.8 million Americans still smoke cigarettes, nearly 1 in every 5 adults as of 2010. There were also 13.2 million cigar smokers in the U.S. and 2.2 million who smoke tobacco in their pipes, other dangerous and addictive forms of tobacco as well. Now, the American Cancer Society is also involved in the Relay for Life, and the Relay for Life of St. Thomas will be held on Saturday, June 25th, 2016, 4 p.m. to the 26th at the Sheldon Amali High School. A kickoff event was held on Friday at Yacht Haven Grand, and organizers say it's time to sign up, get your team packets, and paint your world purple, the theme this year. You can call the American Cancer Society for information. It's 340-775-5373.
Cancer is a costly disease. It takes a lot out of you, and if you don't have that funding, it could be between life and death. We have a lot of things in store. Starting with this evening, we're gonna, we want the community to just listen out because we have a lot of things in store for you guys this year.
This event is really, it happens all around the country. It's called the Relay Kickoff for 2016. And what happens is we just gather together and we just invite people to come out and pick up packets for the 2016 relay.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and in the spirit of giving and leading up to the holidays, we want to share some events and ways you can lend a hand. The Family Resource Center is asking you to lend a hand. They say now more than ever, they need you to continue doing what you can to help save lives and build healthy families. They are having their Thanksgiving food and supply drive at Cost You Less this Saturday, November 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, the Salvation Army needs volunteers for its Red Kettle campaign on Thanksgiving Day. You can contact Major Daniel Hazeldine at 277-1865. And the Christmas Kettle, as you know, is the Salvation Army's most famous street campaign. It is most recognized during the Christmas season through its volunteers who stand outside of businesses and play or sing Christmas carols or ring bells. The VI lottery was drawn earlier today, but your chance to have it all with a magical Christmas, that's coming up with the December extra tickets on sale for a chance to win $500,000 in cash, plus a new 2015 Toyota Tacoma truck, Super Bowl tickets, and much, much more. Stay tuned for details, but meanwhile, here are the winning numbers for today's drawing.
The VI Lottery presents draw results of today's drawing on NEWS2. Here are the top prizes. Fifth prize for $20,000, 18833. 18833. Fourth prize for $30,000, 00689. 00689. Third prize for $40,000, 03182. 03182. Second prize for $65,000, 11289. 11289. And the winning ticket number for the grand prize for $175,000 is 27927. 27927. If your ticket number wasn't called, keep trying. One of these days, your number could win. The next drawing is the EX drawing for $500,000 on December 16th. Play the VI Lottery and imagine the possibilities.
And we will have more details on that drawing as well. Good luck as you check those tickets. Stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.